Hello and welcome to the Starfall Collective Season 2, King of the Cloudy Sea, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. I'm Matthew Talamini, your Dungeon Master. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at matthewtalamini.com. That's Matthew, Talamini.com. With me are some of my college buddies, Sir Robert Burbridge playing Weatherin, an elven paladin of Oberon. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hey, I'm Sir Robert. You can find some stuff at thefarce.net.
David Farrell's character is at the other side of the cloudy sea, so he will not be joining us this time. Dwight Canal, what is the name of your character?
Trilo.
Say hi so people know who you are. Tell them if they can find your stuff.
Hi, I'm Dwight, and this week I'm sponsored by Zeljans. I don't know what it does, but I saw an ad for it and it looked pretty cool. So I'm thinking about getting a doctor to see if it is right for me.
Joshua Suich playing Malmer, an elven warlock / fighter of Chernobog. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hi, I'm Josh. You can find my stuff all over the internet by looking for the handle JSuich, JSUICH. That'll get you my content on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. And you can check out my episode of the Bigfoot Society podcast where I talk to my buddy Jeremiah about all things metaphysical and squatchy and whatnot. And I think that's about it.
Squatchy is the adjective form of Sasquatch.
Yeah. When you go into the woods and everything's either eerily quiet or you hear things that might be Sasquatch, you got to say, it's pretty squatchy in here.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, let me say,
how squatchy is it in here?
There
right
are
now?
few places on the globe as it's actually not a globe. Never mind. As squatchy as where your characters start the beginning of this episode. Weatherin and Malmer. It is morning. Oh, right. Triton?
Trilo.
Trilo. Let me just write that down somewhere.
Hi, I'm Trilo. Hi, guys. I'm Trilo.
Oh,
I'm going to try to do a voice.
Trilo is technically a hero. It's morning on the far northwest edge of the cloudy sea. Yesterday's hunt for kraken out on the ragged edge yielded little more than scattered sightings of large snakes and possibly one black dragon. Much of the long, bright nighttime, with the sun coming up in streaks through the trees under the cloud-sip Fujin, was spent in restless planning for tomorrow's hunts. In fact, Goryo had a decision to make. What are we looking at?
Hanks.
I was silently letting people know I was drinking.
That for our those
Hank's
listening
gourmet
to the
vanilla cream
podcast,
soda.
Sir Robert is holding up a bottle of Hank's something or other. It is brown with a green and gold label.
It's
That is
gourmet
sarsaparilla?
vanilla cream soda.
Lips dry and your throat parched? Reach for a good old bottle of Hank's Brown Drink.
And
I'm really glad that,
Brown
Sounds
that
great with a ginger chew.
this
and
is just
with regard to
I
the
love-
with regard to the podcast, people, one, I did it silently so as not to interrupt. However, the DM thought it was appropriate to share. And two, while I do recognize that people listening on audio only could not see what I was holding up, hey, fix your life.
Captain Goryo had a decision to make last night. He received several reports of black dragon sightings. Although he himself has never tried it before, stories circulate of kraken hunting captains who have bargained with chromatic dragons for the location of nearby kraken. They can be tempted with gold or other treasure, they say, and some of which the Fujin does indeed carry. He could stay here and order the boats to seek out this dragon, and maybe it could help them to find kraken. Or the other thing that he's here to seek. But
The
perhaps
location of the Dark Temple of the hidden temple of Chernobog located between some pyramids or something. Mal remembers, Josh does not.
Neither
That
Weathering
is-
nor Sir Robert has ever heard of any of that.
How,
Weathering
Lord.
copied the text that says where this is found into his book. It is in a dark elven script, so perhaps he could not read it. But he does have the information in some form. That is indeed what Mal has been seeking. Perhaps, though, thinks Gorio, the faster way is to proceed south and look for the things that he seeks himself directly, rather than pursuing the dubious aid of such an untrustworthy creature as a black dragon.
Right.
Josh, Sir Robert, and Dwight, any of you can spend a fate point to direct his choice one way or the other. If you don't, it'll be decided randomly. Dwight, fate points you earned as Fennetir will work for this. They are your points, not your characters. If more than one of you think you might want to influence this decision, then we can roll initiative and have a bidding war.
Sorry, real quickly, are those the two options we're choosing from? There's not like it's not open.
It's not open.
Okay. Great.
He's debating. His original plan is to proceed south day by day, and each day send ships out into the cloudy sea as he takes the Fujin down along its edge. Send boats out into the ragged edge as he takes the ship down its border. He's debating whether to stop for a day to send the boats out again to try and find and hunt for this dragon.
Okay, I see. And the other place, the coordinates for the other place are like further south?
You don't know. You have a very local description of them.
But Sir Robert's spending fate points. Does Sir Robert know?
No. Sir Robert does not know.
Okay.
Where what is?
Going to find some kind of temple or something.
Right. So it is impossible to map what's past the ragged edge, even less possible than mapping the cloudy sea.
Oh, I didn't
Everything
realize it was past the
constantly
ragged
shifts and
edge.
moves.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I thought it was just somewhere in the world.
It is not somewhere in the world that you know that it's past the ragged edge. Weathering doesn't know any of this, presumably.
Yeah, sure.
But Malmer knows that it's past the ragged edge. He was told so by a Nothic, and then the closest thing to directions that one could possibly have to a place that's past the ragged edge was given him.
Okay. I'm interested in him going to the temple.
As am I.
I'm not interested in that.
I will gladly open the bidding at 1 point to go to the temple.
Sounds good to me.
I have an aligned interest there.
Sweet. Josh, go ahead and subtract 1 fate point. And Captain Gorio thinks the dragons, they've been known to be useful, and it would be good to have a dragon ally instead of as a possible enemy, but I seek what I seek.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
And never the twain shall meet.
So the ship, during the night, while you're sleeping, during the few hours of darkness, during the darkness here, where your ship is, it's easiest to travel in the darkness because the sun is below where the trees are. So if there are any gaps between the trees, they show up as white with the sun coming up from underneath rather than as green. So once you get out on the ragged edge, you look between the trees and it's just blue down there or black. So that's not an issue. But where you are right now, traveling at night is sort of the safest way. So the ship goes for about 4 or 5 hours south overnight. Anything you want to do in the morning? The cock-a-doodle-doo, sun starts to come up in the east.
I think I will try to find a secluded part of the ship and try to pray to Chernobog and try to commune and take out that banner and fly it off the back of the ship. And he manifests a weapon in the style of this. You said it looked like a glaive with some sort of business going on near the base of the blade.
It looks like a pretty regular glaive.
Okay, a glaive.
What
Okay.
you've seen is a depiction on a banner, so it's not
Right.
very exact.
Right.
Yeah, glaive.
It's iconic. Okay.
And so, sorry, does Watherin know anything about what's happening except that the ship's moving a little south? The captain's just steering it somewhere.
As far as Weatherin knows, the ship is currently in a fairly standard kraken hunt for this part of the sea.
Okay.
You are doing as these ships sometimes do, which is scouring the ragged edge for kraken and anything else that might be of value.
Okay. I would have Watherin do his normal sort of devotional stuff that he does, similar to what Mal is doing, except that Watherin's kind of increasing in his petitions to Oberon because things seem to be getting increasingly rotten.
Malmer, religion check.
Yep. Whoo! Man, I'm hot tonight. That's a 20 plus 2 is a 22.
Yeah, you definitely feel the thing that you felt when the god first appeared to you. You get that sense. The warlock has a sense of the warlock's god, and it is to your west, southwest somewhat. You feel the pull, and there's an emotion in it that you have not felt in it before. That's not really part of the, these spiritual forces sort of have an emotional character.
Which I've got some context for because I felt the resonance of Oberon with the Klauberman's aura.
Yeah, well, so your original contact with Chernobog, your sort of emotional vibrations were absolutely in sync at that time, being very much vengeance minded.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sort of feel that distant, tenuous contact right now, in the depths of your kind of martial meditation here, what you get is still that same sort of like, I'm going to chase it down sort of vengeance, anger thing. But there's definitely a shade of confusion in it. A little bit of a lack of confidence that wasn't there. Weatherin, you also can roll me a religion check.
Sure. Let's see. And I'll just say before I roll, as context, I'm interested in generally Oberon's blessing and all that stuff. Also, I'm aware of the sort of adversarial relationship for the drow and the charm thing on the sides of the boat. So it's sort of more of a like, hey, Oberon, be with me. It looks like I'm going into some dark stuff. Okay. And I want to find the guy still. Let's see. Rolling a religion check. 12.
The god is distant.
Okay.
Whenever you sort of concentrate and do your thing, or whenever you cast a paladin spell, you do feel the kind of like enchantment circuit of the Oberonian hunter's charm that's been put on the Fujin.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel that. That's sort of like there's some sort of thing flowing between these two animals' heads that like you can pick up on pretty easily with just a 12.
Okay.
But the presence of the actual god himself is not perceptible to you.
Okay.
Speaking of those dark elves, they are the first off the ship and out into the Ragged Edge, even before you guys. As soon as the Fujin anchors, they are ready, and they're like, they've been like in the hold, down at the bottom, far away, with like earplugs in or something. They come rushing up, get everything ready. They're the first out, and they scoot.
I think Mal rushes over to find Watherin, and what does he find Watherin doing when he finds him?
Sorry.
This is a question for you, Sir Robert.
No, I get that, but they scoot to where?
They're like going out in their boat to go hunting for krakens.
They put their boat down over the edge and go out to hunt.
And it's
Has anybody
daytime.
seen krakens?
The last kraken that this ship saw was a long time ago.
It's daytime.
Yes.
Okay.
It is dawn about the time when you would usually start.
Okay. He finds Watherin eating breakfast or whatever appropriate thing like that, and getting ready for the morning chores.
Okay. Mal is obviously pretty excited and pretty energized, and he says, Watherin, the ashen dogs have the drop on us. I say we hit the clouds. I don't want them to get first contact, first sight.
Let's do it. And Watherin quickly eats up his, potato mash or whatever. I don't know. And is ready to go. Go find Sarah and do what we need to do.
Mostly dried kelp salad. These are elves, after all.
Fair enough.
Little bit of salted fish.
Kelp jerky.
Sarah comes up to you as you guys are preparing the boat, and she has somebody who you recognize since they have been a fellow crew member for this whole voyage, but about whom this narrative has not yet spoken, named Trilo. Dwight, will you please describe who Sarah is guiding over to the boat?
I don't know. I'm an elven person
Give us
who
a physical description.
High elf or wood elf?
Color.
I'm so bad at physical descriptions. Wood elf is what was chosen for me.
All right. You want me to do it?
Medium height, medium weight, medium hair, maybe a little bit of a elf beard.
No, let's go with a really long rat tail.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Business
That
up
is-
front, rat tail in the back.
I was
he's
going to say
not-
rat tail in front.
He's been going to elf school for a long time, and he keeps changing his major, so he's all over the place. He has a -3 in wisdom,
Good.
and
Wow.
and as a cleric, so
he's a
partially cleric. One of his many classes is cleric.
I mean, I think
And-
what we see is, I feel like he should be wearing like, what god are you a cleric of? By the way, this is important. You got a couple to
I feel like
choose.
he hasn't really chosen yet. He's still
Okay, so he's
still
got
trying to-
a Palor pendant
yeah,
and an Oberon pendant,
yeah.
and there's a little like a pawn bracelet, a little
Yeah.
pawn charm bracelet on one. Are you
Trying to
considering
cover all his bases.
offering your devotion to Karen at all, or is that not his bag?
Nah, I mean, I feel like he will decide not to align with evil like that.
Okay, and then there's going to be like, what does he have that suggests wizard?
I'm not really sure. He doesn't his
Does he have a
inventory
book? He
didn't.
probably has a spell book if he's a
Oh
wizard.
yes, he does. He has a spell book with
Yeah.
a few spells in it.
So you
Not
got
very
some
many.
like holy pendants around your neck, and then like a spell book under your arm,
Yeah,
and
and
then
he's
what, like
carrying a
bow and
bow,
arrow,
bow and
and a
arrow,
Robin Hood cap.
and two short swords.
This is
A
you're
man
ready
at
for
least
action.
mildly prepared for any occasion.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I would think. Okay, I like now that we know. So you guys, Malmer, you're a warlock who is used to be kind of a skinny, malnourished looking, crazy-eyed sort of warlock type, with some illusion tricks behind you. Now you have gotten seriously buff over the course of this voyage, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing. He's been using all of his free time to practice martial art forms, and he goes through a lot of katas and stuff. A lot of which he, like he'll have a vision or a dream, and he'll wake up in the morning and meditate, try to solidify the dream that he had. And at this point, he has actually learned to channel the powers of Chernobog and of his physical fitness to pull out a second wind. And he has been studying and learning how to land blows with large weapons more effectively. So he's got great weapon fighting style.
This is how we describe in the narrative that Josh's character has leveled up and taken a one level fighter dip.
Ain't no dip if you get action surge, which I don't have yet, but it's coming.
Trilo, the second elf towards whom Sarah, your boss, is leading you, reminds you very much of a teacher. This is an official, button-downed paladin type. When you went to cleric school, this reminds you of one of your very most strict instructors. Sarah says,
Professor Hardcastle McCormick.
That's right.
Trilo, this is Weatherin. He's our harpooner. He is going to be second to me on the boat. You do what I say. If I fall overboard and die, you do what he says. Never do what he says.
What if both of you fall off to the side and die?
In that case, do what Mal says, but not until then.
And then what if all three of you fall over the side and die?
Then you fall.
And you should probably fall over the side and die as well, because I strongly suspect that you're a turd.
I might. Okay.
Can you row?
Grow? Like, become bigger?
No, with your feet, pedal.
Oh, row!
Row.
I thought you said grow.
Okay. We're going to launch in 20 minutes. Everybody get ready. Weatherin, you know what to do. I'll be back.
Sure.
She stomps off, leaving you with this strange character.
All right, fall in. Get the boat ready.
Yes, sir.
And then we fall in and get the boat ready. Let It Be by Montage.
Very, very good. Why don't you guys tell me about what your order is? Weatherin, you're up front, either on the left or the right. Do you have a preference?
Let's see. I'd probably say on the right because he's right-handed.
All right. And Sarah will be just behind you on the right. Malmer, there are 3 benches with two spots each.
Mal takes his marching orders from Waithrin. He asks for a assignment.
Second row left.
Okay.
Where should I sit?
Let's go back of the boat left.
Okay.
As far from Weatherin as possible. Very good. And then there are a couple of red shirt sailors who join in, who Sarah's picked out.
I'm in charge of them if everyone else dies.
If they die too.
Before they leave, Mal asks Watherin to ask for the blessing of Oberon on their excursion.
Watherin's game. He pulls out his little pendant book. He has a little tiny prayer book that he keeps on a chain. Not tiny, but and then he does an appropriate petition.
And then Mal holds up his weapon to the sky and calls upon Chernabog and calls for the blessing of the god of the hunt, he calls him. And that's a 17 religion check to try to encourage Chernabog to send a strong gust of wind or make lightning fall, or just something Elijah and the prophets of Baal. He's hopeful that Chernabog will show some small indication of his favor. Does anything happen? No? Okay. A girl can dream.
What are the flying guys called? There we go.
Goose Knights?
Goose Knights. Sorry, Goose Knights.
Aarakocra is what I was thinking of, but thank you. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so you guys set out. What I want you to do is you three each make a survival check.
Okay.
And this is a very important...
I've blown all my good rolls.
You can add a 1d4.
Okay. So it's a 10 plus 3 is 13.
No,
Not natural 20.
I'm a -2 on survival. So I got a 2.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I have to roll my d4. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, Weatherin, did you roll a d4?
I did, and I got a negative.
good.
I got a 20
So-
total.
20. Good.
Total of 5.
Okay. So you guys, you go out, you're rowing. Any particular ways that you try to help yourself along?
Yeah, I think Mal would love to do an athletics check. That's a tactic that's been effective in the past, trying to take out his glaive and use it to actually push it. He'll transform the weapon into just an extra crazy long quarterstaff and use it to push and
Gondolier a little bit?
Gondolier the way.
Yeah.
Gondolize.
12. Oh, do I get to add a D4 to that?
Sure.
Woohoo! Went from a 12 to a 13.
I'll say Oberon gave you that blessing.
You need a little
Meeny, meeny, miny,
dreidel.
moe.
You need a dreidel with a different god symbol on 3 of the sides. One of them's still blank. It's I don't know. I might get inspired someday. Oberon!
I have one thing. I have a horn of silent alarm that I got earlier,
Uh-huh.
and it has some charges because each day, and I want to blow it. When I use the action to blow it, a creature of my choice can hear the horn's blare if it's within 600 feet of the horn and not deafened, and nobody else hears anything.
Okay.
So just going to blow it with the intent that any kraken within 600 feet hears it as an alarming sound.
Just going to periodically take it out and...
It doesn't hurt.
Within 600.
It causes something to crash or whatever.
How far in miles is 600 feet?
So 5,000 feet is
It's
a
about
mile.
a tenth of a mile.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's
a
not
little
even
more.
close to a mile.
It's,
No, it's
it's
like-
more
it's
than a
about a
tenth of a
tenth.
mile.
It's an eighth of a mile. So,
Okay. So you guys are you're striking out into the ragged edge. It's very maze-like. If our listeners will recall, this is the trees in the cloudy sea are sort of all wrapped together. Sort of instead of roots, they have these vines or tendrils that sort of connect the trees to each other, since there's no ground here for them to anchor themselves in. And so there are just long snaking roads almost of trees, maybe 4 or 5 trees wide, sometimes narrowing to only 1 or 2, that are all connected to each other in like a long patchwork, not like a grid, but like almost like a bayou. If instead of land you had empty space that went down into eternal nothingness. So you're sort of navigating. You explored a good deal of the northern part of the Ragged Edge yesterday. So I'm guessing you're probably not going to want to strike out northwest. You're probably going to want to tend more south, and especially
southwest. I mean, Mal is going to try to encourage the ship to follow the bearing that he has intuitively perceived.
Okay, yeah. Make me a roll to try, because Sarah is ultimately in charge. Are you going to actually ask her to go in a particular direction, or are you going to be more subtle about it? Say, like, when you come to a fork, be like, "Oh, I think left looks good."
Yeah, I mean, Mal, there have been a couple of times in the past where Sarah and Watherin and everybody else on the ship were just like,
yeah.
And so Mal is going to try to just, with confidence, indicate to the southwest.
Okay.
So this is a persuasion or a survival? Persuasion. So that's a 17 plus 5 is a 22. Plus a D4, I suppose. Plus 3 is 25.
Okay. Yeah, so you're you know how Sarah is she's vicious when it comes to a fight. And she is vicious when it comes to berating laziness or idiocy in the crew. But when it comes yeah. But when it comes to things like the back and forth of real decision making, she'll often let something go if she doesn't care one way or another. And in this case, she's happy to sort of follow your lead and roll her eyes a little bit, like, who's this guy think he is?
I've been right in the past. Got some recent good data behind me.
So this is interesting. So Robert, your survival check ended up 20. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do indeed find the area that you're searching for, Malmer. What you come to is a place where these grids sort of, there's a grid that where they the trees sort of interlock, and maybe not a grid, but I sort of described this like a maze almost. And it's mostly on the level. It's mostly like a 2-dimensional, basically flat surface, but there are lots of places where the whole surface will dip down or come up again. And that has to do with the levee fog, which is how the trees sort of stay in place. If it's more present, then the roots will be able to pull them into shape more. If it's less present, then they will sort of sag. So the overall geography of the Ragged Edge is gently sloping down to the west. So you're sort of going downhill as you go west, sort of generally going uphill as you go back east. Yeah, it's like if you
the tide level.
If you made a ever seen the Great British Baking Show?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like if you made a caramel lattice, right? You make a caramel lattice. You hold it up. It's firm, right? And then maybe you pass a lighter under it a little bit, but only hold it by the west edge, east edge. It's attached to your gingerbread house on the east edge, and it's sticking off, and then it sort of sags in places. The trees the forest sags as it goes west, and eventually it ends because there's just not enough to keep the trees up. But as you are continuing on, what you find is a place where this gentle sag is replaced by a steep and obviously three-cornered valley where it goes sharply down on one plane and then sharply up on two others on the other side. Like a triangle. And Malmer, you recognize this instantly as the geographical feature.
Right.
That was described in the note that the Nothics had.
Excellent. Yeah. Mal turns to Sarah and says, "By my honor, this is a place that the captain will be pleased that we have found. I have spoken to him of this, and he will wish for us to inspect it. You will have my head on a platter if a word of that is untrue."
Well, it's nothing I've heard of before. I suppose we should check it out.
Yes.
How do you proceed?
Mal is gondoliering his little heart out because he is a 7-year-old kid at the top of the stairs, and there's a Christmas present at the bottom.
Whatever your character would do. So, but I mean,
I'm in the back trying to figure out how to grow.
it is definitely part of your mission to find things that are valuable. If there is any kind of levy around, it's sort of your job. Your job as a Kraken hunter is to get it.
Scrounge for it.
Sure. Okay, makes sense.
There was another detail. Again, I'm sure Mal remembers. Josh does not. But there was something about going between 2 points. So Mal currently has out his spyglass, and he's trying to glass the area, looking for recognizable landmarks that he might navigate.
There's what the note told you was that there were something that the temple was hidden by the pyramids.
Hidden by the pyramids. Okay.
So if you're going to be looking, I'm going to need you to make a perception check.
Okay. It's
You can add a D4 if you want.
Plus 3 is 18 plus 4 is 22.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think the first place you look is, there's this triangular valley. Let's look at the edges here. So you run your.
Mal's first thought, if he's looking for a pyramid, is that this triangle is an inverted pyramid. So maybe the pyramid is going down, right? So
it is.
Okay.
There's nothing in the center.
Okay. So in that case, Mal would want to try to look around and see if he can see a similar shaped depression or the hint of a depression anywhere on the horizon.
Okay. Yeah, as you are scanning with your spyglass, you have a very good perception roll, and you see a stone pyramid wedged in a tree, like a maybe 3 foot tall little monument looking thing.
Okay.
It is in one of the corners of the big inverted pyramid that you're looking at.
Okay, it's in one of the corners. Okay, in that case, Mal would start trying to glass around looking for the other one, but in the meantime, he says, "There, head for that pyramid, that corner of the edge, right over there."
All right. You guys start rowing. As you look at the other corners in turn, you see similarly there are probably 3 of them. You actually only see one of them, but in the third corner there's a really likely tree that you think, probably that's the spot that they chose to put the third one.
Okay, let's head for that one, because if we can find 2 of them, then we can try to go for the center of the edge there. But I just want to confirm that there's one there.
Okay. Yeah, you have direct knowledge of the ones in the sort of, there's a northeast corner, northwest corner, and a south corner, right?
Okay.
You're approaching from the east, and you saw the one, over the pyramid, over the inverted pyramid. You saw the one in the northwest corner first.
Oh,
Then
I
you
saw the far one. Okay.
Yeah, you saw the far one because
Oh no. Matt.
where are my
Hey,
There you go.
you're back.
Oh, hey.
Got you back.
Then you saw the one in the northwest corner. So the one that you haven't seen is the one in the south corner. That's
Okay.
where you're gonna head to.
We're supposed to go between the 2 pyramids, so I think he would just suggest that they go to the... What?
It said that the temple is hidden by the pyramids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then let's go check out and see if we can find the one down in the bottom. Actually, Mal suggests that maybe Mal should hop off in the tree with the one in the northwest, and maybe Watherin can be in the one in the northeast, and then Sarah or Trilo can be in the one to the south. And then if all 3 of them are in different pyramids, then they can they shout to each other? Can they hear each other from that distance, or would that be way too far away?
It's probably too far.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go check out the south one.
Okay. You get there and you find. Are you going to get out and look at it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Make me the extremely normal acrobatics check for doing anything in those, climbing around in these trees.
Okay. What a great time to roll a 1 plus 1 plus 6 is an 8.
Where's my D4? Here we go.
I knew I'd been rolling too well for too long.
Weatherin, what you see is Malmer is like, have you seen ads? Have you seen like the Captain Morgan like rum bottle where he's got his like 1 foot up on the edge of the boat and he's like
Sure.
looking off into the distance? Malmer is definitely doing that, like that way to destiny sort of vibe. And then when you actually get to the place where he was guiding you to, he jumps off and just takes a face plant right into the cloudy sea. You fall 40 feet.
40 feet. Ouch.
Yeah. Make me a good old-fashioned this is going to be a the same check that you just did, the acrobatics check.
Okay. Better.
Can I try to jump out of the boat and save him?
Oh yeah. Make me a acrobatics check.
11 for me.
And
I rolled a 22 on my check.
Watherin also notices, but does not jump out.
So you don't actually fall 40 feet. You take that initial face plant and onto the top branch, and that's going to give you 5 damage. Mama, go ahead and mark 5 damage for the initial face plant. And then Trilo just like dexterously grabs one of the ropes, braces himself on the edge, just leans right out, grabs you, hauls you upright. Now you're standing.
Hey now, I don't want to be in command that early.
Sarah's like, "Good going, you turd."
Sorry, just really excited. Sorry. Mal is flush red with embarrassment. He doesn't like looking a fool in front of the crew.
You did, unfortunately, but you go ahead and climb the tree, and when you get to the actual object that you spotted, it's there wedged between two branches. It's just a three-sided pyramid. There's a keyhole in it.
Looks like we need a key.
Weatherin has 3 keys
Yeah.
that he took from some Nothics.
Let's see.
When we found the ship with the bodies? Okay. Did I see him take those? I think I did. I think I remember. I think we found them visibly, and he just took them because he was in charge at the time.
Yeah, so Watherin just says, "Huh. I have some keys. Good fit."
Mal holds out his hand and says, "May I?"
No, I'll do it.
Make me that good old acrobatics check.
Be careful.
I mean, I was trying to take one for the team in case they're booby trapped, but
yeah, but I picked him up off a Nothic, and I'm also generally wary of evil Chernoboggy type stuff. So,
is that what you say? Do you say that?
Aaron
no
is evil. Chernobog is simply dangerous.
No.
Chernobog isn't that nice, though.
No, all Watherin says is...
I didn't say it was good. I just said he wasn't evil.
All Watherin says is, no, I got it. And what did you say to roll, Matt?
This is your acrobatics check to walk on the trees and climb around on the trees to get there. Yeah, get out of the...
If you want, I can give you a little Oberonian help.
I got plus the thing. 13.
You're good.
Okay. So, yeah, I go over and I say, we were looking for 3 of these things, right, Mal?
Yes, indeed.
And I just note to myself that I have 3 keys that taken off of the Nothic and think, okay, this all seems very dangerous.
I believe that what happened was that Malmer searched the captain, whereas Weatherin searched the crew members. Each of the crew members had a key on a thong around their neck, whereas the captain had the note.
That's right. Okay. And then so I just try each key to see if
the first one clicks.
Okay, great.
And you turn it, and as when you turn it, a sort of shimmering happens down in the bottom of the valley, and the dim outline of a stone pyramid appears.
Okay.
Hey, look, a pyramid.
And
it's sort of it's like 1/3 opaque and 2/3 transparent.
I want to try to climb back up into the boat, and if it's possible, just have a quick aside with Sarah.
Go for it. You don't have to roll for this.
Okay. And I just tell her, I just let her know, I say, hey, Sarah,
yeah.
I got these 3 keys. These were off of those weird, freaky Nothics. Remember the weird thing that attacked?
Yeah.
And I think something really potentially dangerous or just bad could be around here. Doesn't mean it's not valuable, but you should just know the key that unlocked this thing came from a pretty unsavory source, and if it does more, there might be danger ahead.
Tell me, how many years have you been out on the Cloudy Sea? It's your first trip?
I've been to 3 ways before, but I haven't been out here on the Ragged Edge.
Well, you're doing a good job. In these cases, what I see down in there, what substance does it appear to be made of to you?
What's she referring
The
to?
answer is like granite.
Stone.
Okay. Stone.
Now, for stone to be sitting there with no ground under it,
Sure. It's got to be the levee. Or it's got to be, there's got to be some somewhere.
I don't care what this psychopath does, but you and I and the rest of the crew are going to get some crowbars.
Fair enough. It's a treasure trove. I get it. Let's keep our eyes peeled for any bad actors.
As ever.
I
She
can't
has
believe Trilo didn't say, huh? What?
bad actors. Interesting. Would she call the others at this point?
I don't have a crowbar.
By the others, you mean the boat, the main ship?
Yeah, you all have flags that you can fly that would signal to the other ships, like, "Hey, something's going on over here."
My
I could make
suggestion:
it look like a flare goes up.
the ship seems to run on something like a kind of credit and blame matter on the ship. So my intuition would be that there's an inclination to that there's some drive for her to be like the one who found something really awesome. You know, maybe call them when all the things are rocked. But if the whole ship gets there and they all find the pyramids and then we go unlock them and everybody's there, it all happens as a crew level thing rather than as a Sarah's team thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just talking.
I think that probably sounds about right. Also, there's Malmer, who probably doesn't want the whole rest of the ship. I don't know, actually. Malmer, would you want to send up the kite to call the other boats?
No, I think this is going to be a small private matter. Like, we can handle this. This was not. I wasn't sent by my god into an ambush, is my thinking. This should be a matter. It may be difficult to get in.
How much do you know about Chernobog?
Wait, Watherin does, by the way, have an interest in not calling the ship because he doesn't trust the captain. And so if there's something evilly bad around, he wants to have an attempt to destroy things before the captain gets there and has so much.
Yeah, so Sarah's like, I wonder, should we call the captain? And Mal and Watherin, but no, not necessary.
I think it may very well be that Sarah is thinking something quite similar to that. I think she's also seen some of the evil-y deeds and attitudes going on the ship, and is maybe might want to pry the levee loose from this sort of dark temple and let it just tumble out into outer space. And the captain never finds out about it, except that, oh, hey, we found a whole bunch of levee. Aren't we heroes?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Everything's
so
coming up Trilo.
Mal has already got out his gondolier pole and is in the process of kind of pushing off and assuming that everybody's going to kind of hop into their posts and start paddling and head back over for another.
So we know where the
crowbars
second
in
one is,
the
right?
boat?
Sorry, go ahead, Dwight.
Yeah, we know where all three are.
Okay.
You can see the temple now.
Okay, but it's just low.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom of this inverted pyramid.
Yeah, but I mean, if we have three keys and they're three stone pyramids, then
you can do whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can.
We can do what Sarah says we can do.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Mal suggests if one key brought it into visibility, it stands to reason there's a very good chance that the second key will, if anything, make it more visible or more accessible.
Yeah, it's 1/3 opaque right now.
I don't know why you need it completely. Okay, no, let's do it.
If we raise it
let's go.
That sounds
All
good.
right.
But if we do raise it all the way up, and needlessly so, it might distract the other boats and the ship from whatever they're doing. If it rises so tall that they see it, and
I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's just becoming visible.
Got it. Okay, I see.
Right.
It's not like rising.
Yeah, it's not coming up or anything.
I thought it was rising. Great. Okay.
Its opacity has changed.
Okay, sounds good. Clicky clicky. Let's turn the keys.
Okay.
Okay. You go around, and it takes a little while, but you navigate around the side of this triangle, and you get out, and you turn the key in the one, and the second one, and you go around to the other side of the triangle and turn the key in the other. And as you go around the southwest edge of the pyramid, you see that the temple at the bottom has a big arch in that side, like an opening in the side of the temple.
Oh, good. Okay. Mal points it out and suggests that they make for the arch. He needs to get in there.
Okay, you do see the arch before you turn the final key.
Okay. After the third key, does it become even more opaque?
I mean, you don't know yet. You haven't turned all the keys yet. I'm letting you choose between going straight to the door and turning the final key. But when you turned the second key, it got a lot more opaque, but it is still partly see-through.
Any opponents in the temple might be getting, another third of their hit points or whatever.
We have three. We were given 3 keys. Can Mal make like a religion or an arcana check to try to
make a history check?
A history check.
I think Watherin is interested in just going in. I don't see any reason to arm traps and stuff.
17.
There were 3 sailors. They all had the same, pretty much identical keys on pretty much identical thongs, like it was part of their uniform.
Ah. So the fact that there are 3 of them could just be a coincidence. That's what a 17 history check is giving me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Watherin petitions just to go in.
Yeah. Mal picks his battles and says, fair. If for some reason we can't and we need to do the third, then let's do that. But for now, let's go down.
Okay. Yeah. You navigate your way. It's a little bit difficult to get the boat down the side of the down the side of this depression.
Sure.
But because you have to kind of wind your way along
kind of tacking down.
Yeah, kind of tacking down. There are big blank spots between the trees you have to navigate between. But you make it there. Are you gonna so Sarah jumps out by the door. And as soon as you get within like anywhere near the temple, you become weightless pretty quick. Like there's a big levee field surrounding this whole thing. And Sarah like sort of notes the location where you first become weightless. And that's where she sort of stops and like ties up the boat and says, okay, the boat's not really very good past this point in the weightlessness. It's hard to,
navigate
it on the surface of the trees. So we can just kind of crawl our way in from here.
Yeah, Mal dives off the boat head first at the opening.
So what that means is that you have parked the boat maybe like 20 feet out from the southern tip of the temple.
Okay.
20 feet like south from the southern tip of the temple. And Sarah says, come with me. And she has, a lot of adventurers have crowbars. Sarah has a crowbar.
Cool.
Are they available in the boat, or are they? Should have.
It's hers. They're not part of the boat's equipment.
Gotcha.
But a lot of adventurers have them, so you can check your inventory.
I do not. I know.
Mal is going to head over to the aperture of the temple.
Cool. Sarah does not care.
Okay.
About that. What are the others of you doing? Going with Sarah or going with Mal or whatever you want?
I'm following Sarah.
you said going with Sarah.
Uh-huh.
And Sarah, is she staying on the outside, basically prying Levy?
She's looking for it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm going to. She knows what I'm about, so I tell her I'm going to go scout for some over here, and I head off in the general direction that Mal is going, sort of doing both, looking a little bit for the levy, but keeping an eye on Mal. I'll probably
Okay.
end up following him in, or whatever.
Okay. So making your way along in this is sort of like going along in the International Space Station.
Uh-huh.
Like it's mostly finding a handhold
Well, I've
and
totally been there.
pushing yourself a little bit, and then grabbing onto something else. And the main thing you don't want to do is like push off too far and go off, float off. Because when you hit the edge of the levee field, your weight comes back and you sort of end up sliding down the edge of the levee field and just hitting whatever's down there, which might be nothing. So be pretty careful. If I were you and I were a responsible sailor, I would make sure that I brought a length of rope from the boat with me.
Yeah. I've
In
got,
We
these
got a boat.
situation
We
like
got a rope.
this.
I've got my kit.
Good. Yeah. So, weather and what you see, there's a ledge around the sort of equator of the structure, maybe 5 feet wide,
Okay.
that looks like it would be intended for walking on, but like you can't really walk on it, but you can sort of climb your way around it. And when you get to the southwest facing arch and pull yourself onto the inside, Malmer, what you notice as your eyes adjust to the gloom on the inside is there are wooden bookshelves lining the right side of the room with kind of straps that you would have on any kind of shelf in a zero-G environment to keep them in place. But the shelves are not full. They're maybe a tenth full, but it's like a long, long bookshelf, maybe 20 feet, but only 5 feet of actual books on one end. And I mean, books in this point in history, there's no printing press. So most books are handcrafted, hand drawn. And these are like that, although they are all bound in the same way. They're not sort of creatively and interestingly bound. But it's parchment and leather. On the left side of the room, there is a long table fastened to the stone floor. And there are also chairs with straps fastened to the stone floor. And sitting at those chairs, as your eyes adjust, you see there are 10 Nothics. They are wearing sort of monk-like robes, and they have their claws and their big giant eye and their spikes going off of their heads. But you see that they are actually, with those claws, they have like specially made pens that kind of tape onto the top of the claw, and they're writing with remarkable dexterity. For something that you may have imagined was just like a violent, vicious monster, they're peering at texts in front of them on the table with intensity and scribbling away, and there are like blobs of ink that they're dipping and writing. It looks like nothing but a monastery, really. This is something that the Elven Empire has. People have to copy books by hand, and there are holy books are usually copied this way. Whether in Oberon's tradition has a strong monastic component.
Yeah. And I've copied books.
Oh, you've spent years
Yeah.
in the scriptorium copying books. So this is recognizable as you come in, Weather, and this is recognizable to both of you. much less actually to Mal, but you would know just from being part of this culture that's what this is.
Right.
No.
Can you say that again?
Oh yeah.
Mal.
It's apparent that this is a scriptorium.
Oh, okay, great.
There's a pile of bedrolls and other laundry and a fire pit and a big cauldron just to your left near the door, sort of the various accoutrements that are required for a basic, humble living situation. And Mal, if unless you're going to rush in and do something, if you're taking a moment to scope these out.
Mal would like to act before Watherin says or does anything to upset them. So he's pulling the flag out and kind of holding it out in his hands and trying to very calmly walk forward to the edge of the room and address them.
Are you going to say
hoping that Watherin isn't going to like pull out a sword and go, "Bad guys, kill them"?
They look up.
That sounds more like something Trilo would say.
Yeah. Bad guys, kill them.
Watherin's hanging back in the shadows, kind of like not wanting to be seen exactly.
Yeah, so you're probably in the edge of the door.
Yeah, like spying, kind of peeping in.
Okay. So you're the Nothics look up at you, Malmer, and then look back at their work.
Okay.
They keep on working. They appear very focused on their task. One of them does get up and sort of touches a second one on the shoulder, and that one gets up as well. And they both walk sort of past you and out towards the door. And as the first one that stood up is about to walk past Watherin, who's sort of standing by the door, it turns around and looks at you, Malmer. And I need you to go ahead and make me a deception check.
No plus
11
4
plus
because I'm not.
5 is 16.
So you feel, actually, that's close enough that I'm not 100% sure. Let me actually. Oh, the Nothic actually rolls for this.
Please do not roll well, Mr. Nothic.
Yeah, so you win the roll. What you feel is sort of there's a magical presence that starts to kind of impinge on your mind, on your memories, and sort of is poking around, and you become aware of different memories sort of getting touched in different places. And as it pokes around, it's getting closer and closer to sort of your past. But then you're with you're sort of able to direct your attention and sort of close off those memories, and it has to retreat. It turns around and walks out.
Okay, I follow it.
Okay. The two Nothics,
What are Nothics? What are they?
So these ones are clothed not in the sailor's rags that you sort of saw before, but these ones are in like cassocks, I guess, what a monk would wear. Think of like long robes with a hood, but they don't have the hood up. I don't know if they even could put the hood up. They've got spikes on their heads and spikes on their arms, and instead of fingers, they have these long claws,
and they have one big eye
in the middle of their forehead.
Remember that guy that attacked the ship with the boat, or he came to the ship at least? Yeah, that guy.
Sure.
You have encountered these before.
They look like nightmares, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're pretty scary. Your past experience with them has, if you have been paying attention, would have given you the impression that they belong in some respect to Chernobog.
I thought they were denizens of Karen.
They
domain.
do speak Dark Elven. They are when they communicate in Undercommon. Except I think one communicated with you psychically, Malmer, and that was not Undercommon.
I think Chernobog is more closely related to Karen than you realize, Josh.
I think he is less related to Karen than you suppose. I reject your reality and insert my own.
So what they do is they go out on the cloudy sea. The one who seems to be in charge points up to one corner of the valley and sort of touches the other one and wordlessly points. And the other one goes up and starts making their way up in that direction. And then and you see that they're heading towards the pyramids where you turned off the invisibility.
Mal is going to stop one of them and hold up the flag and try to telepathically communicate to them, I am here for this, and try to actually get them to acknowledge him and acknowledge his agenda here. Because so far they've just kind of walked past me, and Mal is now suspicious that maybe they're just going up to collect the keys and close the door behind them.
Well, you have the keys. Or I'm presuming them unless you left them in the lock.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, maybe they're just going to close the door. So can I make some sort of like persuasion or diplomacy or something like that to try to get them to acknowledge me?
It's going to, it looks at you a little bit and turns its head to one side. And then it like takes a stance that you aren't sure what to do with. It means something to you, but it's hard to say what right now. It's kind of confusing, and then it turns to go away. Unless you're going to like stand in front of it and block its way. But
no,
you're showing it the banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Make me just charisma check.
Woohoo! $22.
Okay, yeah. It touches the part of the banner that has the glaive on it and sort of runs its finger along it a little bit.
Right. And Mal starts
claw.
shaking his head. Yes. Go ahead.
And then it turns and makes its way back inside of the temple.
Okay.
It's going to go up to one of the other ones and touch it on the shoulder and make a gesture. And that one's going to get up and go out. And then it doesn't gesture to you, but it goes and it stands in the center of the room.
Okay. I think Mal is going to stay inside the room. He's not going to go wandering off. He's going to stay inside and look around, and he's going to start kind of maybe try to look over their shoulders, see if he can recognize anything that they're writing, start kind of scanning the room, looking for doors, stuff like that.
As soon as you take a minute to look around, you see that each corner of the room has a glowing circle in it.
Okay.
And
is this a triangular room?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a big, giant, cavernous room in the center of this triangular temple.
Right.
There would be space for another big triangular room like this, possibly below it in whatever basement.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like the whole place is just one big room.
Okay.
In
All
each
right.
of the three corners, you see one of these, like a glowing circle on the floor.
Are two of them glowing differently than the one other?
They all
Or
look the
all
same.
three? All the same. Mal's going to go inspect one of them.
Which one? You've got
Uh,
one in the northwest, northeast, and south. So there's going to be one to your right, one to your left, and one directly ahead if you're just coming in the door.
the northwest.
Okay, so that's the one to your left. So you make your way past around sort of the cauldron and the piles of bedrolls, and past the Nothics who are at their table scribbling to your right. When you come to the corner, it's just in the stone. There's a circle. It kind of glows. For a minute, you hear like some metal tool working on stone from outside. Tink, 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 tink.
Mm-hmm.
And the there is a apparently magic circle.
Okay. Can I make any kind of arcana check to try to identify or divine any sort of
Yeah, please
school
go
of
ahead.
magic, that kind of stuff?
Reverend, what are you doing in all this?
So quick interjection just for a moment.
Watching.
It's 9 o'clock, so
Right.
we could take a break at some point. Once I see,
Trying to wait for a dramatically appropriate moment, but we can stop before that.
that's cool. I just was telling you in case you had forgotten about the time. Yeah. Once,
12 arcana. Sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
12 arcana to identify the circle.
Okay. Once the Nothics, I guess, walked by me, right?
Yeah.
They didn't seem to care about me at all.
Two of them passed you. One of them came back in with Malmer and sent another one back past you. They noticed you. They glanced at you as they went past, but they didn't seem to care.
Okay. I think I'm gonna leave and go get some levy with Sarah.
Okay.
I'm imagining Josh is trying to talk to these people, and we're down there. We get the levy off, and start to leave, and the temple just falls.
Hey, man, if we can time it right.
I don't think there's any timing. I don't think Sarah cares.
Josh or
Mal.
Malmer. I mean, this is sort of temple construction 101. If there's a magic circle in a significant geometric location in the architecture of a hidden temple, it's meant to be stood on.
All right. Mal stands on it.
Mal, you
You
vanish.
don't want to detect magic.
You vanish.
All
and,
right.
You appear. You find yourself. You get magic swirls all around you for a moment, and then you find yourself under a starlit sky, but these stars are not moving. The bright full moon above you in a seemingly infinite grassland at night. And in front of you, among this grass as far as you can see, and at the distance, a few gentle rolling hills, a few stands of trees that you don't recognize. In front of you is an enraged elephant about to charge at you. And that is where we're going to go to break. Find the exciting conclusion of this encounter at 9:10 when we come back in part 2 of this episode of the Starfall Collective. Welcome back. When we left our hero, Malmer Mayala, he was face to face in some strange place that he has never seen before, and seemingly infinite grassland surrounding him, face to face with a giant, enraged elephant. Roll initiative.
Does he know what an elephant is?
Yes. They have them.
That's a 5 for me, boss.
Wow. Tell me, what's your dexterity?
Well, my dexterity is
What's your dex modifier?
+3.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mad. It's about like 30 feet in front of you.
All right. Well, the first thing Mal is going to do is cast Blur on himself to give himself a fighting chance of actually surviving this encounter. And so, having cast Blur with a action, he's then going to place. He's then going to whip out his Shadow Blade with his bonus action, and that's going to be him.
Okay. What does Blur do?
So blur, your body becomes blurred, shifting and wavering to all who can see you. For the duration, any creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
All right.
So
Cool. So what's going to happen here is the elephant goes next. It's going to charge straight at you, just super, super mad, just boom, 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 and the earth is shaking, and it goes to try and gore you at a charge, trampling with its giant, sharp tusks, but it has disadvantage on this, thanks to your prudent spell casting. How is a 18 going to be versus your armor class?
that hits me.
You're going to go ahead and take 15 piercing damage.
Yow!
And make me a strength saving throw.
Alrighty.
Being knocked prone as it charges at you and pushes onto you.
That is pretty good. That is going to be 19.
And the elephant tries to knock you over as it gores you, but it is not able to. You get pushed by it some, but you keep your feet.
All right.
Your turn.
He's going to slash at it with his sword. And he's going to fail to do so. Yeah, I think.
Just tell me what the attack roll is.
Sure. That's 10.
Misses.
Yeah.
Any bonus actions?
I think he's.
How long is Blur going to last?
1 minute. And he's gonna. You know what? I think he's gonna cast Hellish Rebuke as a reaction after this thing hits him. So this creature is gonna need to make. Well.
Doing things a little bit out of order, but sure, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he uses his reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke, and as the tusk pierces him, it erupts in hellish flames from the point where it stabs him, and the flames go rushing up the tusk and engulf this thing's face. It needs to make a Dexterity saving throw, DC 16.
All right, that's going to be a failure.
Okay. In that case, it is going to take 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 points of fire damage.
All right.
Somebody about to get hit by a tornado?
Yeah, flood area here.
Ah,
All right, it's gonna turn and attempt to gore you again with its giant tusks. It does have disadvantage on this because you're blurred. That is a 14. How's 14 against your armor class?
Not good enough. He
It
stabs into my breastplate and I rebound.
Yep. All right. Your turn.
Okay. He is going to slash at this thing. Will a 19 hit it?
19 does hit.
All right. Excellent. In that case, it is going to take... Nice. 19 points of damage from this blade of shadow as it cleaves through its flesh.
You have you've given it a real big gash in the side, and it seems really mad. It turns and runs away from you. You can get an opportunity attack.
Okay. You said that we are in like it's dark. It's like it's nighttime, right? It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can see fine though.
But that means that I attack with advantage with this sword. I should have attacked with advantage before, but I didn't realize that. So Mao hits it for 20-something. Excellent. This thing takes 19 points of shadow damage from a second slash.
It charges 20 feet away from you, loops around, and charges right back at you, and attempts to make that gore trampling charge again.
Okay.
Let's see. 6 plus 8 is going to be 14. How's 14 against your armor class?
Not good enough.
It misses.
He steps deftly to the side and slashes, tries to slash along its side as it passes him. And that's a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. 19 again.
The beast continues to flee. It turns and keeps running. You get a attack of opportunity if you want it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very, very injured and wounded, and it's.
That's 21 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. And it
Yeah,
takes
you as
22.
you. I mean, say how you want to do this.
Yeah.
It's got its back to you.
Yeah. I think he just like plunges it deep into the back of its leg and just like opens it up along a tendon and hits a major artery and just slices the thing open.
The elephant falls down on its side and breathes its last and expires there before you in gouts of ruinous blood and guts spilling out onto the grass. You feel the exaltation of Chernobog and the hunt fill you as the landscape around you fades out, and you find yourself in a small room lit by the dimmest of light from long, deep windows or holes in the side. There's maybe a ladder that goes up, but you're at the bottom of a long shaft. And down here in the center of the temple, the very heart of the hidden house of Chernobog the Hunter, you feel as close to your god as any mortal can feel. He doesn't appear physically present with you, but he is here. And on a unassuming altar in front of you lies an exquisitely crafted glaive.
Yes.
This
Mal
is what
twirls the sword, and as it twirls, it dissipates into tendrils of smoke, and he cracks his fingers and walks towards the glaive.
now for this weapon. This is a extremely powerful artifact. What I want you to do is roll me a d6 3 times right now.
Okay. The rolls are as follows: 2,
Okay.
6,
Okay.
4.
Okay. So do this for me. This weapon is a magical +3 glaive.
Whoa. Yes. I wrap my fingers around the ebony, mahogany, whatever handle. Up, you're frozen.
Yeah, I
Or
don't think you
you've
can
been
hear.
watching it. There you go. You stopped
Okay.
doing a Marcel Marceau impression, and you're back.
So this has all the this is the same properties as a regular glaive,
Okay.
except it is magical.
Okay.
It has +3,
Okay.
and the following property.
Okay.
What you need to do to use this weapon, what your character has to attune to it. It does take an attunement slot.
Okay.
And once you're attuned to it, make up 20 cards, a deck of 20 cards labeled 1 through 20,
Okay.
and remove from that deck the 2, the 4, and the 6 card.
Okay.
And whenever you would roll a d20 to use this weapon, so when you first get the weapon, make the cards, shuffle them together, shuffle them really good.
Okay.
This is your fate blade.
Okay.
Here's what a fate blade is.
All right.
When you would roll a d20 to use this weapon, instead draw the top card. That's the roll.
Okay.
Discard that card.
Okay.
Keep, as you play with this weapon, keep the draw and the discard piles separate.
Okay. Okay.
And then once you have drawn all of the cards,
okay. Reshuffle.
then you reshuffle.
Okay.
Do not reshuffle until you have drawn all of the cards from the deck.
Okay.
Furthermore, if you kill a what are the size classes? Gigantic?
It goes medium, large, huge, gigantic, colossal.
Okay. Or gargantuan or something.
Right.
If you kill a huge or larger creature with the Fate Blade,
okay.
This is the Fate Blade of the Hunter.
Okay.
Roll a d6.
Okay.
If the d6 matches one of the numbers of the cards, remove that card.
Okay. Excellent.
So once you've killed a bunch of these, you might have the equivalent of a d20 that never rolls below a 7.
Gotcha. Awesome. That would be pretty epic.
Furthermore,
And is the +3 added on to whatever also?
Yep. The Fate Blade, the Fate Blade mechanic only replaces rolls of the d20. This is a legendary weapon.
This is awesome. Mal is just quivering with glee.
And what you sense, so that mechanic with the cards, what that means in like plot terms is that you have a dim sense of how you're going to perform with this weapon in the future.
Ah, yes. Yes.
So if you've already drawn the 20
right.
in the deck,
Right.
You know you're not going to draw it again until you have to reshuffle the deck.
Sure.
So your character does have a sense of how they're going to perform in the future with this weapon, which
Can he
is
go like try to cut down a tree with it if he's
your DM is not going to let you roll 20 times to try and cut down a tree with a glaive.
Sure. This isn't Skyrim. You can't shoot the archery target until your skill goes through the roof.
Yeah, that's not going to be possible.
I just
And
wanna make a potion that
you
makes
do
me
have to
better at
kill
making
the
potions.
you do have to kill the huge or greater creature with the glaive. Like you have to be the one to kill it.
Right.
If you're in a battle and somebody else kills it, no good. It has to be this glaive that brings it to 0 hit points.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
This is a time when you could commune with your god.
Yeah, I think Mal places the butt of the glaive on the ground and takes a knee and prays to Chernobog and speaks out loud. Mighty one of the hunt, I will use this for your honor. I will slay with vengeance your enemies. They shall be as ours.
You hear sort of Chernobog's voice. Yes. But again, as before, you get this sense. This sort of sense like almost as though the god is confused about who its enemies are.
I think Mal takes this opportunity and says, Mighty one, I am but a tool in your hand. I am but a blade in your hand. And yet, I ask you, is there any possibility that the spirit of Oberon might join us in this hunt? I have seen his strength, and I have felt his will, and it is not far from ours. I wonder if Karen will truly be the greatest ally for us. For if Oberon can be swayed to our ways, all would be upset. Pelor would find himself alone. He would find himself truly imbalanced. And a hunt of 3 ways seems like one that we could bend to our will with great advantage.
The god pauses because the hunt is not merely the chase, the pursuit, but the hunt is also the study of the prey. And you remember the Nothics with their single eye and their psychic powers, and you remember the scriptorium upstairs. And you have this sense of a god in a high place who knows many things and who has cataloged all living creatures. And mere mortals can make offerings and buy assassinations, can change the course of nations or empires by winning over Chernobog to strike a single fatal blow against some creature or some ruler. Not just the god who kills, not killing for killing, but the god who hunts. And after this sort of like download of the god's nature and purpose into you, you feel the stone under your feet shift, tilt, and you're weightless, but the passage, which was directly up and down, tilts very slowly to a 45-degree angle. And then you suddenly float and your back bumps into the top and you start sliding up it a little bit as the temple moves down a little ways and then slows and comes to a rest.
Did we successfully...
The camera zooms out and we see that Weatherin and Sarah and Trilo have made in
And
one
some
of
red
the
shirts.
and some red shirts have managed to make a big
My
big
shirt's red.
a big like a 4-foot deep hole in the granite. They've just been going at it like crazy, and Weatherin has some cantrips or whatever. You're blasting the rock away and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty effective at this, and you finally dug down deep into the they're not like clipping the levee to the the very corner of it with like a little metal bracket or something. Like it's in between two giant blocks of stone deep inside of the thing. But you were able to find the edges of the field and calculate where the center of that field would be and dig down to it. It's not rocket science to find the center of a sphere. So and you can find the edge of the sphere pretty easily. You just take some little things and sort of throw them around, and they continue with their momentum until they hit the edge of the sphere, and then they do stuff. You can sort of see where the sphere of the levee field ends. So this is what you guys have been doing, just working away at it. Working on the railroad, tink, tink, tink. And you finally got it. And you've Sarah has tied a rope around it. This is a big chunk of levee. This is like as big as any you would find. Like this does not look like it could be naturally occurring, except in the biggest of kraken. And even it seems like even like Enma the Silver Squid wouldn't have levee gems this large. It's extremely big. It's worth a king's ransom. It's a fortune. And Sarah ties a rope to it that is a little bit longer than the field, which is a convenient way to carry these.
And this is 1/3 of the gems on this temple.
Well, when you do this, the part that you're standing on immediately starts to fall down. But it's not. It doesn't fall 1/3.
It's not even 1/3 of the.
It's not even 1/3 of what's in this temple. I want to tell you now that it has been a couple of hours since you got here, that all this has been going on. And you see a red flag at the very edge of your vision, about where the Fujin or some of the boats would be above the horizon. I mean, not a flag. You see the red kite.
Sure.
The signal. The signal goes up.
I cast message if I'm able to. Is Josh's character within 120 feet of me?
Yes.
And I say, hey, there's a red kite. You should get out here.
Fools! What have you done?
A red kite. You should get out here.
Stop!
Sorry.
I'm coming! And Mal starts to skedaddle out towards the exit.
And Watherin says, hey, let's take this block back to the ship and let him know that there are more here. We can get these all excavated quickly.
Sarah says, no, I think we have to go because the Nothics are starting to come out.
Like bees.
The block doesn't weigh anything. Are we going to be able to pull it?
Oh, it's not a block, it's a gem. It's just.
Oh, okay. So we'll take that with us?
Yeah, I mean you'll tow it behind you. It doesn't weigh anything.
Okay, Great.
It's just that you can't operate the boat if you've got it in your pocket.
Yeah, right. It makes sense.
So you tow it on a rope behind you.
Sure.
Is
Sounds
the
good.
normal way to do it. Sometimes you put it on a long pole and like hold it up away from you so the field doesn't
Sure.
get to you.
Most of the pole doesn't weigh anything, so that's nice.
Yeah, the Nothics are coming up and they're not looking super pleased. So I think you guys skedaddle.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Malmer?
Mal is going to. Let's see here. Does Mal have a general sense of how far from the edge of like how thick the wall is? He's seen the outside and he's seen the inside.
Yeah. You mean where you are right now in like the center?
Yeah. So
It's probably
he's got to head for the exit, so he's just going as fast as he can for the exit.
okay. Yeah, you if you climb up the ladder, you get to you find like a trap door,
Right.
and you push it up, and some straw falls away that had been on the floor, and you climb up the out of this passage, and you see the Nothics sort of hurrying out the door.
Yeah, Mal is going to try to blend in with the outflow of them and just run alongside them as though he's part of the crowd, hopeful that he can kind of blend in with them as they pour out.
There's no blending in with them. You look very, very different from they do. They know who you are and they notice you, and they don't seem to care.
All right. Well, he's headed for the exit too. He's sprinting for the door.
Okay. Yeah. If you're sprinting, you go past them fairly quickly, and you can pile onto the boat.
Yep.
Yeah. All of you make me the acrobatics checks that you need to make.
And you can have a +4.
Woohoo!
That'll be useful. That's a 12 plus 2 is 14.
22.
18.
Yeah, so you all get out to the boat just fine. Let's see about these red shirts. One of the red shirts pirouettes like a dancer, having rolled a perfect 20. And you all jump on the boat. The Nothics are just looking at you and sort of blinking with their giant eyes. Like they don't quite know what's going on. Like they just sort of stand there on the edge of the temple as you start to row away very quickly. As you make your way, Sarah is taking you back towards the flag. There's no question that if they've found a Kraken, you need to be there. Even if there's more levy here than there is in the Kraken that they've found, like Captain Goryeo will not be pleased at all if you're not there. So you're making your way back. You're going basically east. You're going east, and I'm going to narrate some things that you see as you go. Yeah. So as you're going west, something passes overhead. Make me perception checks to see this, to see how well you do at understanding what it is that you're seeing.
Okay, perception.
Sarah doesn't even see it.
11.
17.
13.
Weatherin, you, the others of you see a white rock above you in the sky, really, really high up, like hundreds of feet in the air, 200 feet or so. So it's almost just a speck, and you see a long red banner flapping from the bottom of this. It's actually orange. It's like a bright orange banner flapping from the bottom of this like what has to be a huge white stone, right? Weatherin, you're the only one who has the keenness of eye to see who it is on top of this. It is Pagoyak the Frost Giant on top of a very large cloud stone flying an orange banner.
Sorry,
Headed,
he's the one we encountered
yeah,
in the perch.
He's like Nebulaster's friend.
yes.
Okay.
He's one of Nebulaster's gophers. And he is flying a large, very visible orange banner. And he goes directly west, the direction that you've come from.
Sorry, direction that we came from. Let's see, from the temple, from the pyramid.
He could be headed towards the pyramid.
Okay.
And then you see the first thing that you see, and this is going to be a final description before we close this episode. The next thing that you see is you notice one of the Fujin's boats directly ahead of you, and they are coming towards you. And this is the kite that you saw has been getting nearer and nearer. And you see them at the sort of edge of your vision. And they're focused on something ahead of them. And when you look to see what it is that they're pursuing, you see a gap in the trees. The eye-shaped gap that is caused by a kraken pushing the trees out of its way. Now, this kraken doesn't have as many trees to push out of the way as they usually do. So it's doing more monkey barring than they often do, than they usually have to do in the depths of the Cloudy Sea. It's passing between them. And when it comes close enough to you, you see that this is a bigger kraken than you've thought could ever be possible. It is probably 60 or 70 feet long. Its tentacles are 20, 30 feet long. Its arms 15, 20 feet long. It's enormous. It's one of the it is larger even than Nebulaster. And as it comes toward you in the sun, you can see glinting off of its back a very distinctive silver color. Because what is coming towards you, pursued by the boats of the Fujin, and at this point you have just seen for the first time the outline of Goryo at the head of his boat. What you're seeing coming towards you is Enma himself, the Silver Squid, the king of the Cloudy Sea. And he is headed west.
Whoa!
And that is where we are going to close this episode of the Starfall Collective.
Great.
I have a feeling that a beautiful level of failure is immediately ahead of us, gentlemen.
Where's my thing that I'm looking for? There you are. Weatherin.
Yeah,
Did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
I did.
Cool. Give yourself an experience point.
Great.
Is there any special way you helped in the hunt for Enma, the Silver Squid? Yeah, you were hunting for Enma, the Silver Squid this whole time.
Yep.
Did you advance your personal quest?
I wouldn't quite say so. No, I tried, but it didn't really do anything.
Yeah. Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
Yeah. I would say so. He's getting much more comfortable taking his life into his hands and just doing things with high risk. So
Yeah, this was some high risk stuff doing this. Sure. Karaok isn't here. Fennetir isn't here. I don't know what questions to ask Trilo. He doesn't have a personal quest, or
I don't know what fate is.
he doesn't know what fate is. So I guess, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Yeah, I jumped off the boat to
I
catch
think
what's
so.
his head.
And I think you also hunted for Enma, so go ahead and give Trilo 2 experience points.
Have I gathered any from previous days?
No, this is a brand new, freshly rolled character.
But I was on the ship the whole time.
You were, but you only became a hero just now. Malmer, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Risks to help them. I mean, I fled with them, but I don't know. I can't really think of a way that I took a risk to help them, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any special way you helped in the hunt for Enma the Silver Squid? You spent the whole day mostly hunting for Enma the Silver Squid. Did you advance your personal quest? Yes. And this may be the last experience point that you get for that, because I think you fulfilled your personal quest.
I have fulfilled part 1 of my personal quest.
You got a 2-part personal quest. Okay.
DM didn't even know about it.
Oh, he knows. He
Yeah.
knows.
Well, no, not really. Your personal quest has always been to get the thing that you just got.
Yeah, that has been my primary one. Yeah.
So, did your attitudes towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
Yeah. I just risked the wrath of my god to try to get us to form a new power pack to try to follow my convictions about allies and such.
Yeah, go ahead and take a fate point. And you know what? Take an extra experience point too.
Okay.
Or I think that we are, if we're not in Act 3, we're getting near to Act 3. And pretty soon I'm going to deploy a rearrangement of the experience point system that will include something for Act 3.
Okay.
All right. That is all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Tune in this same time next week. Maybe. I don't know if we're going. I hope that we will stream next week, but we might not because it's a holiday. Tune in the same time next week, maybe for another exciting episode.
It's Arbor Day.
And remember, failure is
tree.
beautiful.